Nice, nice, nice. All right, yeah, you actually are on a very nice win streak as well. That's all green, man, in the match history.
I know, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, in fact, two of those 4 losses there were like extreme cheeses,
Uh-huh.
which so it's like I didn't really feel bad about losing them, but most of the macro, like the standard games, I feel like I'm winning and I'm doing pretty well, so I'm pretty confident on that end.
Yeah, man, that's a really good sign. Like most of the time, if you're struggling in the macro play, it sort of means you're pretty far away from a promotion. But if you're struggling against cheese and whatnot, it just means you got to play more games, and eventually you'll like learn all the different kinds of cheese and you recognize it a lot better. So that's a good thing. You also climbed up to rank 1 gold, so that's also really solid. Yeah, first time around we did coaching. You were rank 5 gold back then, but that was at the very beginning of the season. And last time rank 7, and now rank 1, with about 30 points advantage. So that's actually really solid. Nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so last time around we did ZVP with the whole cannon rush shenanigans.
Yeah, that was fun.
Have you had any cannon rushes against you since?
Actually, I do. I actually have a replay if you want to go over it.
Is that the one you sent me the email of, or?
Yeah, it is.
All right. I hadn't opened it up yet. Let me. Yeah, I got it actually right here. Yeah, the anti-cannon rush build, right? Cool. Yeah, so anyone wondering, basically last time around, we were basically focusing on macro Zerg versus Protoss, but at first we went over how to counter cannon rushes, which was the primary thing you were facing a lot. I already have the replay here, so if you could just hand me the pilot lead, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Yep, perfect.
Lowko, who's that at number 8? Wait, are you in the same league? All good? Actually gonna check. Are you in the same division? At rank 8? Yep, that's you right there, dude. Nice.
That's neat. Welcome, welcome.
Hello from Turkey. Keep up the good work, Lowko.
Thank you very much, Tuco. Hello from the Netherlands, dude. Thank you for the 10 euro donation. I appreciate that. Hello from Turkey, he says. It's funny, man. People from the stream are literally all over the world. It's really cool.
I know that. I think that's one of my favorite things is that like we're all kind of all over and we just chat and get together and watch video games. So.
Yeah, exactly. I know that there's a couple guys from Australia always tuning in as well. It's like 3 in the morning over there right now, and they're they're dedicated watchers. It's pretty cool. Anyway, dude, thank you very much. I do appreciate that, Mr. Tuco. Thank you for tuning in as well. Alrighty, so first time we did Zerg versus Zerg, yep, and then last time we did Zerg versus Protoss, and this time around, I'm assuming we're gonna do Zerg versus Terran.
I do have a replay for that as well, so.
Cool, awesome, yeah. So, you actually have really nice win rates. Like, the win rates you've got right now with 56, 55, 56% in matchups is actually a really good indication. You just simply have to play more games and you'll go up in leagues, right? Because it's trying to get you to win 50% in. I mean, I don't know if you face a lot of plots right now, but...
I would say 60% gold, 30% platinum, 10% diamond.
Oh shit, you're facing diamonds already? That's actually pretty crazy. Alright, nice. Nice. Alrighty. Wow, you got one of these guys that's asking you to leave games.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you scout the cheese here. Yeah, so basically what we discussed, guys, for anyone wondering, is not to like overreact and like attack this, but just sort of like make the hatchery and let him overspend minerals. And the idea behind it is that, like, you know, look at the amount, how much he is investing, right? This is like, I don't know, he's got 5 cannons or 4 cannons already with 4 pylons here. That's a heck of a lot more costly than just the 1 hatchery. So this is definitely what I recommend. Probably want to take that second gas like pretty much immediately. Because usually that's sort of like the limiting factor. He's being cheeky about it as well.
Yeah, that's why I love this matchup, or this match here.
What a guy. Like, by the way, you should have really not done this. Yeah, if I have to give any kind of critique, you probably just want to go ahead and take the second gas immediately.
Take that. take the second gas quicker. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I take it as soon as possible, as soon as I want to go for the strat, and then with like leftover minerals, I take the in-base expansion. Just because that will actually net you a little bit faster of an amount of roaches. The difference is very minor, but it, technically speaking, is a little bit better to go ahead and do so.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the minor thing. So I'll just write it down real quick. But yeah, so Zerg Protoss versus Cannon Rush. Basically, take gas ASAP. So yeah, these are the most satisfying wins, right? When you when he's being a dick about it. And then he's just sitting there in a natural. He's just waiting, like, what do I do?
Waiting for more reinforcements here. There we go.
Yep. Yeah, you can see like you hit right before Cybercore is done upgrading the warp gates, and that's pretty much the win right there. Like the Cybercore, you probably could have targeted that, but yeah. Oh, he's being nice about it. He's being nice about it. Nice, man. That's good. This is exactly the way you want to win, right?
Perfect.
Yeah. Have you had any kind of have you had seen this a lot still, or is this like the first time you managed to pull it off properly?
No, I've actually done it a couple of times. There was one time that it didn't work, but you know, I'm fine. I'd say I have like an 80% success rate with that particular build, so I'm pleased with the way it's turning out. It's definitely helping out.
Yeah. Instead of auto losing it, it's much easier to you know, win 80% of the games.
Yeah, instead of 0, like I was.
Yeah, exactly. So last time around, oh, actually, the first time we did coaching, you had 34% in ZVP or ZVZ and 48% in ZVP. So everything just got a little bit better. That's really nice. Yeah, nice. Actually, your ZVZ has improved a lot since 2 weeks ago as well.
Yeah, I've really been working on my games and getting things better. I mean, I'm not at the point that I like to be yet, but I'm improving, and that's what matters. Yeah,
exactly. That's good. Yeah, you like right now with the 55% ish win rates. That's a good indication for sure. Alrighty, so ZBT. You have any go-to strats?
Not particularly. I tend to do hatch gas pool, kind of like I do with the Protoss. In first batch of Lings, I get out, just kind of go do some scouting / harassment if I can. Roach Warren by 4:30, try and get some roaches out to make a push. I tend to go Roach Ravager. I like the fact that the Ravagers can really take out Liberators and tanks if you can get a good position, but I mean, it doesn't always work, but I'd say I have a pretty good success with it.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad you're playing a similar style as in Zerg vs Protoss. It makes the whole practicing a lot easier. Alrighty. So I'll just have a quick look as well. Do you go for like the +1/+1 and then the roach speed timing ish, like the same thing as in ZVP then?
Yeah, I try to.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know if I did in this one. He threw me for a loop, and I think just like with my psyche knowing that he was a diamond, I think I was a little off foot at the beginning. So I think I made a few minor mistakes with this matchup, but
fair enough. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, oh shit, all of a sudden there's that diamond border queuing up. You're like, oh god, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can probably go over a couple of minor things that make it a little bit easier, such as like general unit timings. Because compared to ZVP, there's a couple of moments where you do need some units just to be generally safe, and right there was a good example where you needed at least a couple of links. But we can go over those.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good. Like I can hold off the harassment without too much damage being done to my economy, but yeah, I definitely would like to have no damage or you know, a minimum amount.
Exactly. Yeah. Alrighty, now we have a whole bunch of links. Cool. Alrighty, so we can go over unit timings and then in general also the third base timings. Generally do like, or definitely do like the droning though. Like the droning up here and the multiple queens is really solid. And then a little bit of aggressive moving as well with the links is a good thing. Like, I see a lot of Gold League players in particular that just sort of sit back with the units that they make. So the fact that you're moving out with those while macroing behind is really helpful. I feel like the main thing that's holding you back for the moment here is the late third base. So generally speaking, you see it quite a bit earlier than this.
Okay, around what time am I looking?
Alrighty, so usually the latest you will take a third base is right around the time that link speed finishes up. If you know that they play normal as well. So with normal, I mean like if they got an expansion going up, right around, I don't know exactly what the moment is. I think it's about like 3:30-ish. So right about right now is when you would usually take that third base. I personally tend to make them right before queuing up that big batch of Zerglings.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that's quite a bit earlier, right? It's usually the fastest safe timing for it. I do really like the fact that you make the links though, right when link speed finishes. That's really solid. I'm just saying, like, you could probably get it out a little bit faster.
A little bit faster, okay.
Yep. But we'll go over the specifics in a bit.
Yeah, I don't even think I got to a third base in this one. He does a tank back harass, and it threw me off my game. Which that's one of the reasons I wanted to use this match. I'm seeing this a lot more as I'm ascending with my MMR and kind of facing those higher levels. It's kind of moved out of like the Marine Marauder tank into like a tank harass, you know, with backup Marines eventually.
Yeah, like a lot more harass heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
you'll see that all the way to the very top leagues. There's just a lot more harass.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Yeah, so things like the blind units help out a lot with that. In general, like in Zerg vs Terran, it's a lot about control, which I feel like you're doing really well so far, to be honest. It's just letting your macro slip. That's the real thing that's holding you back here. Like notice like your minerals start climbing pretty hard. That's the real damage. Like, just to put it from like a Terran point of view, Terran do not want you to get like the macro economy up that, you know, they can't really deal with. So usually they try and slow you down for as much as possible. Now, he didn't do any damage with the siege tank directly. Like, I don't think the siege tank got a single kill. Or actually, I think it got one roach right there. I see one splattered roach, I think, or maybe that's a queen. Yeah.
Queen.
Yeah. There's one queen carcass right there. But the idea of Terran is to basically try and hold the Zerg economy back for as long as possible. So the real damage is done by checking the amount of minerals that you have left over right now, whereas he got absolutely zero, right? Well,
exactly.
Not absolutely, but being aware of that oftentimes helps out a lot already. Where it's like, well, shit, he's not actually trying to nuke me down the mineral line. He's just trying to slow you down, economically speaking. And yeah, just staying on top of the macro while that's going on is one of the best ways of doing it. But yeah, I think with a faster third, you probably would already have a much easier time keeping that mineral amount low, just because you get a lot more to produce, right?
Yeah.
Whereas right now it's yeah, that's definitely gonna hold you back.
Yeah, I'm definitely limited by the amount of larvae that I have.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I do really like the droning. I do really like the general approach here. I think we could just specialize or like optimize a little more. Yeah, this is the scary thing about higher level Terran players. They're not going to give you that siege tank for free. Like, look at that guy. He's just microing his ass off.
Yeah, it was really annoying. But hey, I mean, that's the way, you know, this play works. So I can't really complain too much. You got to learn to fight it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so the real damage is done on the amount of minerals right now. If you would have been able to spend that, I mean, I don't know exactly how many roaches that would net, but about 30 or so. Imagine you would have had about 60 more supply in roaches here, 130. You would have been easily able to hold this push, and you would have probably been able to counter-attack with a win. Yeah, so build order-wise, there's some specifics we can work on. In general, though, it's definitely all about like dealing with the aggression. So we'll see if we can find someone to practice against. If there's any like I don't know, let's see if we have like a platinum level Terran player, like high gold, platinum, low diamond-ish Terran player that would like to help us out. If you could join group LowkoTV on the North American server, that'd be much appreciated. So once again, group LowkoTV on NA. Well, we'll need some people to play annoying Terran styles against. That'd be helpful. Yeah, so I like the general approach once again. I think the droning up aggression, or like the aggressive droning up in the early game play is really solid. A couple of things we can definitely optimize. Alrighty, so there's yeah, we don't really need to finish up the replay really. There's one build that I really like playing myself, and that's basically the one that Solar does a lot. I don't know if you know Solar or if you watch a lot of the pro games, but
oh yeah, I know who Solar is.
yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, we talked about that before, right? Anyway,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, basically Solar has this build that he's been doing for a long time. He actually sort of fell off recently as far as like the wins go, but that build is still the one that a lot of people use when they play Roach Ravager. I'll just go ahead and copy paste it directly into the note thing that I got over here.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and like post a link to it in the chat as well, as anyone is wondering. Or if you ever watch these on YouTube, I don't know if I will upload it, but if I did, I'll put a link down in the description. Long story short, it's basically the exact same build that you're doing right now, except that it's a little bit greedier, I suppose. So there's some really set timings that Solar makes units at, and those are the main ones that are really important. So the overall idea is to go for the +1/+1 and the roach speed as soon as possible, while having 3 base economy behind it. So very similar to what we saw in Zerg vs Protoss, except that you obviously have to make a couple of units at a couple of times. So I'm trying to think of the way I could easily show you the build. What I can have you do, I suppose, is just play into a custom game without an opponent and just see if you can max out as soon as possible and go from there. Is that something you would want to do?
Sure.
All right, let's
whatever
go
you
and
do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we'll just basically what Solar manages to do, I think he maxes out at like 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's really early on that
with
he maxes
Roach
out.
Ravager?
Yep.
Wow.
It's pretty fucking quick. And,
so is it angled off of the Stefano Mass Roach then?
It's pretty much the same idea, but like he did that in Zerg vs Protoss a lot, right? It's very similar to it actually. Now you mention it, except we need a couple of units at like set timings. But now you mention it, I never actually looked at it that way. It's pretty similar, yeah. That build was glorious, man. I would have people get up to Master League in like 2 days.
Revolutionary.
It was so funny, man, when people did that. It was like, well, what if the Protoss makes Void Rays? He's like, well, what if I make more roaches and just kill you faster? I know the casters were like, okay, he's going for 2 Void Rays, guys. They're definitely going to hold on to these 40 roaches real easy. Good time.
Oh, jeez. I loved it. All right, so you just want me to max out as quick as I can?
Yep.
With roaches?
Yep.
Okay. Roach Ling or Roach?
It's gonna be Roach Ravager. So I'll actually send you the link as well. I don't know if you have a second monitor set up by any chance.
I don't. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll just send it on Skype real quick. If you can open it up for just a bit, just to like sort of go over over the build order real quick.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'll just talk you through it while we're actually in the game, but just as like a general overview. So, do you have the did you get the link?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Cool. Yeah, so the basic idea is to go for the hatch, then the gas, then the pool. So very similar. And then he starts the metabolic boost with the Zergling speed really early on, just the same way you were doing. But there's a couple of interesting moments. So the early game part, I suppose, that I labeled early game, you basically are doing already. But he has like 3 moments into the game where he actually makes units before he starts maxing out. And those unit timings are kind of like the main things to try and recognize, I suppose. So the very first moment that he makes units is going to be right when this pool finishes, and he makes a couple of links for the Reaper defense. So that's Reaper defensive links, like 2 to 4 or so, kind of depends on how many you want. Then he makes like 1 big round of Zerglings, so right about 16 or so, like I don't know, 12, 20, whatever you want. Right when link speed finishes. So that's about, I don't know, like 10 to 20, however many you can make. And the idea behind those is to defend against the Reaper or against Hellion harass. So basically, the first ones are to deal with the Reaper, and then the second ones are to deal with the Reaper or with the Hellions rather. And then the third one that's pretty interesting is right when the Roach Warren finishes up as well. So we get a Roach Warren at a pretty like weird timing, one that is pretty like random it seems like, but basically it lines up perfectly so that if you start up a couple of roaches right when the Roach Warren finishes up, you will be able to defend against literally everything that Terran can throw at you as long as you're microing well behind it. So he gets about 3 to 4 roaches when the Roach Warren finishes. Now, the idea behind that, so we get a couple of links when the pool finishes, a couple of links when the Zergling speed finishes, and a couple of roaches when the Roach Warren finishes. The idea behind that is that you basically only make those, and if you're allowed to, you're just gonna max out on drones on 3 bases off of only these units. And that's the basic idea behind it. And if you manage to optimize that and not die to all the Terran aggression, you're gonna be a-okay because you can do like the sickest timing attack.
Now, I see that these are defensive Zerglings, so I'm not going to scout with these. I'm not going to do any aggression. They're going to sit in my base and defend.
Yeah, if you're good, obviously, you can definitely go ahead and make those. You can like be aggressive with them as well, what you were doing in this game. But you try and not lose them. So, because if you lose them, you have to remake them, right? And that basically is like losing your own workers. So you try and not have them die.
Got it. Yeah, that tends to be the goal.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of people that just sort of run them in the main base, like, yeah, I got them in, and now they're dead. And then you have to like replace like 16 links, which is basically like losing 8 roaches or 8 drones, right? So, yeah, that's basically the way you gotta look at it. Okay. What we'll do, I'll just like talk you through the build first time around, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect. Sounds good. Cool.
Here we'll add in a very easy Terran. This should be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can beat those. I'd hope.
Yeah.
I'd hope you beat those.
I can beat Elite 100% of the time now, so.
Really? I haven't tried that in a long time. I don't know what they do.
It varies. They built in different builds for them now, so they'll do like timing attacks or air timings or full economy.
Nice.
So it's kind of neat.
Do they still cheat? Like, I remember they used to have like extra.
You can have them cheat if you want them to. They get vision, minerals. Oh crap! Of course, I'm talking and I.
It's all good. We can just go hatch gas pool. 14 overlord is no big deal. Yeah, I believe the build maxes out at 730. I'm not 100% certain what the timing on it exactly is. I believe it's either 730 or 830. We'll find out. We'll find out. I think you can get pretty close. We're looking for maxing out before 8 minutes, basically.
Yeah, as fast as we can. Okay, got it.
Yep. And the idea behind that is that we sort of have like a benchmark of what you should be able to hit, you know? So you have a bit of pressure on yourself while you're actually playing against Terran. Which should hopefully make the whole macro while under harass a little bit easier. Lowko, watch out for the 7-minute 2 Marine 1 Marauder push. Thanks, Heineke. Appreciate that. Alrighty. Yeah, so, yeah, we go hatch gas pool. And then once you get 100 gas, you basically pull 2 of the drones out of the gas geyser. I believe you did that in the first game as well, right? In the replay? Not exactly 100% sure.
I don't think so.
Alright, no. Whatever. Yeah, just want to basically pull 2 off.
100 gas, pull 1 out.
Yeah, 2 off, sorry.
Or 2 off, okay. Keep 1.
Yep. Okay. So, basic idea is that we're gonna get 4 queens as soon as possible.
Okay.
And that basically just means that after the first and the second one finish up, you just make the third and the fourth one immediately. Oh, it may very well be 8:30. All right, my bad. We'll see. We'll see what we hit. Okay. So basically, this is like the very first timing where we make those first couple of links, right? So right here is where we make like 2 sets of Zerglings just to defend against that Reaper harass. So basically, you want to try and get into a habit right when the pool finishes, immediately make 2 sets of Zerglings.
Okay.
Right now, obviously, they're not going to do that, but yeah, that's a general rule of thumb. And then the 31, you want to get another Overlord. Okay, so while you have extra minerals here anyway, or you got like, well, we need to get one more Overlord, I suppose, but while you get those extra minerals, you can start queuing up the queens. So you need to get 2 more queens here. Very good. And let's keep on the drones. So once you hit full saturation in the natural, so once you hit 16 minerals there, that's when we take the 3rd base. So
okay, so not full saturation with gas, but full saturation with
full saturation on minerals, yes. So 16 on minerals. Okay. So basically, once you make like the drones enough for that, you know you're in a good spot. So you just made 3 more. Now you need like 6 more workers, and that's when we consider taking the 3rd. Okay. So just queue up the drones. There we go. Yep. So don't worry about creep spreading in this case. Well, you can get it obviously if you wanna. That's fine. And when you make this, there's a couple other things you do as well. So basically, once you hit full saturation in natural, which you just did, you make first off the 3rd base. Then you add on a Roach Warren. And then you add also 2 more gases. As well as like put the drones back into the gas. So there's a whole bunch of things combined, right?
Okay.
So 3rd base, Roach Warren, drones back in
2
gas.
gas.
2 gas, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's also right when you make that big round of Zerglings. So if you can try it, like if you can't or if you don't forget about those couple of things, you should be in a good spot.
Okay.
So once again, 3rd hatch, drones back in gas, 2 more gas, Roach Warren, and defensive links.
Okay.
We're good?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, so 2 more gas. Or 2 more. Or Roach Warren first, that works as well. And then the drones back in the gas, exactly. And then you also make a big round of Zerglings now. Oh, you already got those.
Already have.
Nice. So that's basically it, right? Now you go back to droning. Now these links you can use for aggression if you want to. It's priority like at the very bottom of things. Gotta make sure you hit your queen injects and all that stuff first. And that you don't get supply blocked and all that. Now do make sure to start producing a couple overloads at a time now. Because the 3rd timing of the units, so the first one was right when the pool finished, 2nd one right when link speed finishes, 3rd one is right when the Roach Warren finishes, and that's the point where you want to make about 3-4 roaches. Okay. And off of those units, that's the only thing you need to defend against everything, okay? Now off of this, you can go ahead and tech up, get the double evos right when you take the lair, and just keep on the drones. So notice, like, your army that you got is not that big, right? It's not that big an army, but should be able to max out off of it. And yeah, max out on drones, that is. Okay, so eventually, yeah, you can go ahead and take those gases when you sort of... Like, those are more feeling-based, I suppose. I tried figuring out when Solar exactly takes the gases, but there's no logic in it. He just sort of takes it when it feels right.
Oh, yeah.
Do make sure to get a queen over at that base as well, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. And just go ahead and get up the double upgrades as well as the Roach Warren upgrade. Okay. Now, you start making the army, the roaches, right when you hit full saturation on 3 bases. And that does include gas.
Okay.
Let's keep on the overload production. Yeah, the Terran player is banking, guys. He's got 5,000 resources already. Okay. So make sure to saturate the gas in the main as well, by the way. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, and then you can start up the full roach production and just see how fast you can max out. So like the first 100 supply takes quite a while. The second 100 supply should go a little bit faster. Now, normally in a game, you'd push out right now when Roach Speed finishes. In this case, we
and then
we don't
use
really
the
need
other
to.
ones for reinforcements.
Yeah. Hanky was warning for this push, man. The 2 Marine, 1 Marauder push at 7 minutes. You weren't joking, Hanky. I didn't know they did that every time, man. I've seen it a couple times before, but I didn't know they did it every time. Yeah, I think it's gonna be before. I don't know. I think it was like 8:15 or so that solar maxes out. So you can see, like, you can actually do this as well. Just need to make sure you you know, are really strict with your queen injects and the overload timings, and you should be good to go. Yeah, so just go ahead and max out and push out whatever you want here. Just see how fast you can max. We're ideally looking here to max out before 8:30, which you actually can reach, I think. The queen inject should pop off right now. Yep. We need a couple more. Maybe
So close.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh.
No, not yet. Not yet. 2 more.
Not
1
yet.
more.
Go.
8:30. 8:30. All right. So maxed out on first attempt, right? This is the first time you're trying this. That's a really good margin. So, 8:30 is when you're maxed out at 200 supply, right? Now, the golden rule, I suppose, is like whenever you're playing against a Terran, right, and you're going for this sort of attack, just check how much supply you're at, and just realize that if you played it perfectly, right, and knowing that you had enough army to deal with all the kinds of aggression, if you played it perfectly, you could max out at this time as well. Because you just did, right?
Yeah.
So, what that hopefully at least like sort of forces you to do in the game is be like more active about producing while under harass. Because you know, like every second that you're missing right there is just going to count up to this timing. And in like realistic games, so not against a very easy AI, this is also going to be the timing where they finish up their upgrades and all that stuff. But yeah, long story short, if you like normally you'd push out at you know, a little bit earlier, but either way, like long story short, like you managed to max out at 8:30 with a really powerful timing, and we took that third base and whatnot much earlier than you did previously. Yeah, so I don't know if you had any questions about it or if it makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I like it.
Cool, I'm glad. I didn't come up with it, but
there's something about a lot of those roaches just walking across the field that just make you go, oh yeah.
And have like the perfect income to support exactly that many queen injects and exactly that much larva with the amount of resources you got. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real quick, let's jump into the replay and just cruise through it real quick.
Okay.
By the way, if anyone wants to help us out once again, it's Group LowkoTV on the North American server. We're looking for like a... There's actually a couple people in there. Yeah, we're looking for like a gold, platinum, or diamond level Terran-ish. That can be a little bit annoying. When to build the Roach Warren? You build the Roach Warren after you max out on drones on 2 bases. So you get full saturation on minerals in the main, full in the natural. There you go ahead and take a 3rd base, make a big round of Zerglings, take 2 more gases, put drones back in gas, and make the Roach Warren. So like you get a whole bunch of things at once, and those are the easiest to forget, I suppose. But yeah, that's just a matter of remembering. I like grouping things in my mind. It makes things way easier. I know some people don't like that, but anyway, yeah, so yeah, one minor thing I guess I wanted to mention real quick is something that is important. Like, even though we have very limited amounts of units that you make, obviously, like if you scout that your opponent is going for any kind of aggression, you can respond with more units, right? Because for example, like at 5 minutes or whatever, they can do a stimpack timing attack, and obviously we would have to be aware of that. So
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, one really important thing that we need to do as well is just add 1 Zergling right there. Right there. I don't know if you can see my pings, but
okay.
Yeah, basically you always want to have a Zergling close to their bases, or at least like on the route to where they are gonna move out. And when it dies, like you immediately replace it. And that's like actually really important, because sometimes you get so caught up in trying to optimize the build that all of a sudden a bunch of Marines stim in and murder you, and it happens. It will probably happen at some point as well while you're really focused on it. But just realize, like, one Zergling at the front and a couple of overlords spread out, like you're doing right now really well as well, will prevent a lot of that aggression. Yeah, so basically at around 3:30 or so, you finish up the link speed. That's where you should try. Like you asked earlier whether or not you should play defensive or not with the links. Yeah, with defensive I meant like try and not lose him, and not necessarily like leave him on creep. So like basically right when you finish up link speed, there's really no good reason not to have a Zergling sitting, you know, somewhere on the path to watch your base.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's basically one of the main things. Other than that, like I think we can just go ahead and see if we can try this out against a real player. See what we run into. Yeah. You have any questions about it?
No. Just practice.
Yep.
So.
Yep. For sure. Okay. Any Terrans? Gold, plat, diet. I'm sure there's gonna be a Terran player in the chat by now. There's 8 people in the chat, guys. I'm hoping there's gonna be someone. Loco, I can play. I'm diamond, but I'm a gold level Terran. All right. We also have Drunken Master in there. A low platinum. Low platinum would be good. We ideally get like a dedicated Terran player instead of like a Zerg player that can also play some Terran. All right. We get Taxi in here, who is currently in Platinum League with Terran. So that's sort of what we're aiming for, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Should be able to beat him with Supplement Macro. So for the first game, I don't know. Any map preferences that you have?
Not at all.
We'll just go Dusk Towers, whatever. Dusk Towers is not that great, but.
Well, that's been our go-to for every coaching session, so I guess we can finish it out.
Let's just grind out the Dusk Towers. Can you play a passive marine focused? Just for practice. So we'll just like have you practice against someone who's sort of laid back, so more of the style that you see a lot more in gold. And then after this, we'll see if we can do some more annoying strategies.
Perfect.
Poor Marines. Alright. Yeah, so he's just gonna open up 3cc. Like, focus hard on macro as well, just so we can focus hard on macro too. And then next games we'll see how annoying Terran players can be.
How annoying he can be, huh?
Yep. We got the upcoming buffs to the Banshee speed, so we'll see we'll see how annoying it can be.
That's gonna be interesting.
We may have to incorporate some blind spores as well in Zerg versus Terran. I think that would be the worst of it. Other than that, most of it will probably be doable.
Getting some rubber banding issues, sorry.
You having rubber banding in game? In StarCraft?
A little bit. It's not much, but
you're hoping the uni internet will be better?
yeah, I might need. I mean, it's the one that comes with the apartment. You know, it's just kind of part of the deal. But I think I'm gonna need to upgrade it. So.
Yeah, are you wired or?
Right now, I'm not wired. But once I get my gaming desktop next week, I will be wired.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes usually a big difference. Because Wi-Fi here in my room is pretty bad, but wired is makes me happy.
Yeah.
I used to try and stream off of a wireless connection for a while. Doesn't work at all. Does not work.
Oh, it's terrible.
Sure. Yeah, no,
it's terrible.
Anyway, yeah, so hard gas pool, 19 Overlord, and then we'll go for 4 Queens as soon as possible. Alrighty, so we'll get a passive Terran this time around, so we don't need to worry too much about scouting and all that stuff. This is considered passive, by the way. The Reaper opener is just too good not to go for. And just queue up the extra queens here. Yep, exactly. And as soon as like the Reaper like threatens to go off creep, just immediately return the links as well. No good reason to chase him. Like that's another one of those things. Like in Platinum up, you won't really get a free Reaper with slow links. Like there's no way. A good Terran player will never give you a free Reaper with slow links, that is. Okay, so when you hit the full saturation, which is in like a couple more, you can go ahead and take a third.
Wait a minute. Kapow!
Thank you, Fox Furio, for the resub, dude. Appreciate that. Alrighty, so we can take the third right about right now. I would probably take it in base. Yep, it's a little easier to defend. And that's when you can also go ahead and make that big round of links. The Roach Warren, and then the gas shenanigans.
Never know where to put the Roach Warren here.
Yeah, wherever. And then don't forget to add the drones back in the gas so we can make those initial, like, round of roaches. Yep.
Got it. Oh, I never started link speed. Crap.
Oh. Oh, shit. Alright, well, whatever. Now I guess we leave him on creep. He's gonna play passive, so just imagine you got it, I suppose. Just leave one link close to his base. Yeah, and just go from there. Normally, we could be in trouble right now if he would open up like 6 Hellions. It would be really difficult to hold. Okay, let's keep on the drones. Yep, and this is also where we go ahead and make a couple of the defensive roaches and a couple overlords as well. Cool, yeah, so we could be a little faster on the drones there, but just walk that queen in the main to the third. That's fine. Yeah, so you can imagine, like, if he would have played aggressive here, those links were pretty necessary. So we lost that scouting link. Just go ahead and replace it immediately. Okay, so, like, okay, one sec. So, like, these 7 roaches are, like, completely impulse, right? You get under aggression, you get under pressure, like, well, fuck, better make 7 roaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the whole idea is, like, you basically just ran the link up their ramp, and they sort of just killed it. That's the only thing that really happened there. It wasn't that he was moving across the map. So those 7 roaches here are like instinctive and they make a lot of sense to make, but in a lot of scenarios, like I can tell you how many units he has. He's got 6 Marines right now.
Did I make 7 roaches?
Yeah, you just make 7 roaches.
I didn't even realize I did it. It just must have been instinct.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, try and be very cautious about making units because we really don't need this. But all right, if it's just yeah, all accident, that's all good. Yeah, so just, you know, I guess we got to drone up more aggressively now.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so you can go ahead and take the Lara as well as the double Evos as well. At least we're super safe against those Marines, man. They're not gonna do shit to us. Yeah, so normally this is where things get a little scary as far as drones go. So I would definitely recommend like having a Ling out on the map just to see whether or not he's gonna move out. Because we got that Overlord in position, but it's not gonna spot everything, right? Okay, so Lara's done. Yep. And before we start making any more army, yeah, just make sure you max out on drones, exactly. But right now is when you can start making those units you want to. Now this time around we'll push out when Roach Speed finishes, which will also be the same time that +1/+1 finishes. So we're not waiting for the max out or anything. Yeah. As long as we keep the overload production and the roach production up, we should be good.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, I didn't even realize she didn't make the zerging speed initially. It's one of those things that easily is forgotten. Yeah.
Really weird.
All good.
I'm usually always good about making that, but
yeah. So as far as like making Ravagers goes, by the way, we'll make those once we get to the other side of the map. So just try and spend as much of the minerals and gas as possible right now. And once you wait
I'm maxing out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So once you get to the other side of the map, that's when we make the Ravagers. So right now you can start moving across with Roach Speed finishing up. Just make sure to get a couple Overlords. And then once you're on the other side of the map, that's when you take the other base. And I guess if your macro is this solid, just go ahead and make a fourth base as well. So you sort of like spend all your resources. Okay. So just morph in a bunch of Ravagers now. Right there. Yeah, just we need some more than that. We need like 8 or so. Yep. And now you can go ahead and just push up right when these upgrades, or like right when these units finish up, and just keep on the macro. Okay, just go. Gotta make sure you go immediately. Against Siege Tank, you either commit or you don't commit at all. So, let's just commit in this particular case and go from there. Okay. We should have a lot more units incoming, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, they're actually standing at your third, I think. Yep. The reinforcement link units are standing there. Yeah. So I think we could have won there if we would have brought those. Either way, though, you gotta know, like, this guy is playing super defensive now. And this map is pretty terrible for this whole, like, moving up the third base ramp thing. In this case, though, like, if you want to transition out of it, just go ahead and get 2-2 going. And we can start droning up the fourth base as well.
Okay.
So notice, like, we can transfer those workers already from the, well, yeah, in a little bit, I guess. Now, one of the ways you could defeat this style quite easily is just by jumping him right when he's moving across the map. Oh, there's also a bunch of reinforcements.
That's why, yeah. I didn't.
All good, all good. So, we gotta make sure we have vision of his army, right? So make sure you have a Ling at his side of the map. Like, that's something really, like, really crucial. I do want to really emphasize.
Can I attack now?
Okay. So same thing. Make sure to push out right when Roach Speed finish, or like when +2/+2 finishes up. And in the meantime, we can already start tacking up towards the hive. So basically, we'll attack in the same kind of waves that we did in ZVP as well, with the exact same upgrade. So notice right now he's moving, right?
Yeah.
This is where that creep spread becomes really important that you've been doing, because basically you ideally push, like you jump him right when Roach Speed, or like right when the siege tanks are unsieged. So I like to keep on running links forward here, just to sort of like, you know, keep like track of where his army is located. But yeah, just try and max out here and see if we can engage him in a better scenario. But yeah, ideally we like, you know, jump him right when he tries to siege up. If he doesn't move out though, just go ahead and push out with 2-2 instead.
Yeah, at 2-2.
Yep. And in the meantime, just make sure you get up the hive as well. All right, well, I see something moving. Okay. So there's also something in your main. Gotta make sure we split up a bunch of the units for that. Yeah, so in this case, we're in a bit of a rough scenario. That drop in the main did a lot of damage too. We'll go over how to defend drops in a little bit. Okay. Now we can transition towards something like Ultras as well if you want to, or Brute Lords. It's kind of up to you. The thing about heavy Marauder play is that it does bonus damage to Roaches, but not to Ravagers. So going heavier into Ravagers usually is a good option as well. But he's just gonna drop you around, right? So ideally we really do get a separate hotkey for the Roaches to defend with.
Yep, I've already got it. I don't know if it's working very well, but...
No, we can still win this though. But yeah, normally I prefer transitioning towards the Hive with a Spire as well, just because the yeah, it's just dropping you to death. We'll go over how to defend against it in a bit. Usually, like transitioning towards a Spire is a little easier, just because we can tech up to Brute Lords, but also just get Corruptors going against this sort of stuff, which happens like quite a lot. Are you using the alt hotkeys, by the way, to try and split off the units, or
the what?
Like the alt hotkey to sort of like get the units in different. Oh, well, that works. Like you know, you can create new control groups with the alt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you using those for?
I've used them before. I have not used them for a while.
Yeah. You may want to consider doing that for. Oh well, shit. I think we're fighting a choke. Yeah. You may want to consider using those because they really do help for these sort of engagements. Like when he's trying to drop you in the main, splitting off a small army and hitting like Alt +2 and just right-clicking 2 towards the main base and then tapping between 1-1 and 2-2 makes it much easier to defend. Does that make any sense? Like the logic behind that?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
All right. Yeah. So using alt control groups makes it much easier to defend. Yeah, and at this point we're in a bit of a tough spot though. Yeah, so all we can really do is just push out now that we're max, but I'm not sure if it's gonna do too much. Yeah, he's got too many Marauders here.
Alright.
Alright, let's just step out real quick.
GG.
Yep. Let's have a quick look at the replay, okay? I think there was a really good moment where you could have just won the game with that initial push.
But yeah, I didn't have those other Roaches there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were already there. We'll have a quick look. In general, that was well played though. In particular, like the build order part was really well done.
Okay.
Yeah, this map is not the ideal situation for it because there's that ramp leading up to his third. But anyway, it's good practice nonetheless. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just, I don't know, cruise to like 8 minutes. I don't know if you ever like play late game in Zerg vs Terran? Like, do you generally tend up to go to a Hive, or?
Most of the time, to be honest, I can end it with Roach Ravager around 9 minutes, 10 minutes, so I don't get there very often.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so before like the heavy drop play arrives, you generally speaking have already won the game.
But then again, that's probably bound to change as time goes on here.
Yep.
You know, as I'm facing better opponents, the games are getting a little bit longer.
Yeah, so like in this case, like late game, he was like abusing the lack of anti-air pretty hard, obviously, which is like a thing Terran players do. And it makes it really difficult to defend. So generally speaking, like when you take the Hive, taking also the like the Spire at the same time makes it much easier. Yeah. So you can like you can make Corruptors almost no matter what, even if it's just like 6 of them. It's sort of like stop Terrans from dropping in general, but you also can pick off a lot of the metavacs in combat and stuff. And since you also have the potential of transition towards Brute Lords, like at the late game, he had like no Marines at all. So like 4 Brute Lords probably could have still won that fight. So like as far as like attack waves go, I suppose, generally speaking, you push at +1/+1. Then you transition towards +2/+2, and then you transition towards a hive with Brute Lords. Does that make sense? Like the waves there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So +1/+1 Roach Ravager, +2/+2 Roach Ravager, and then yeah, you basically transition towards that sort of composition. So generally speaking, like if you still haven't won by the +2/+2, going up towards the hive with Brute Lords is really usually the best option. Either way though, I wanted to have a quick look. Yeah, like we have those roaches already hanging out over there as well, and those all over here.
Yeah, so that's another 20 supply.
Yep, that's 11 roaches. Yeah, that's a lot of roaches. That just makes it fight so much more difficult. On a lot of maps though, you can just sort of walk into that third. So like this map is a little rough because attack moving up a ramp is a little scary. Yeah, we just miss 20 supply of roaches just sitting in the bases, and then also 20 of them in production. So
yeah,
effectively this is just 140 versus 130 supply. Yeah, so I think you could have won actually if you took the entire army here. Not 100% sure. We can recover from replay and see if you want to, if you can do that.
Yeah. Now, also a quick question: should I mean, knowing that I'm going against a Terran on this map where they have the high ground with the tanks, should I be bringing in an Overlord or an Overseer?
Yeah.
Try and get those corrosives off on the tanks.
Yeah, if you can bring an Overseer, that's really beneficial. In general, like having an Overseer is really helpful because you can also put up a changeling just to follow their army around. So definitely would try and do that. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Can we recover from replay? He's in the replay, right? I think he is. I don't know if Texas GG is in here.
I don't think he left. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just go from here. Basically, this is right when you're first moving across the map. And this is also right where you still don't have any units hanging around in the natural.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if he's ready. So just bring all the units with you. Bring a Overseer as well and just try your best. Yeah, so this is okay to use the all army hotkey for once. Okay, and just keep on the production. Well, we need a couple overlords as well. Okay. Yeah, so we do want to go ahead and push as soon as possible. We forgot about the overlord production. Let's just go then. Like, we probably just need to go now. Because otherwise you give him too much time. Yeah, if you can avoid the siege tanks though, and move to the right, that helps out a lot. Okay, just keep on the macro. Yeah, that supply block doesn't help. Okay, well, yeah, if you fight like this, it's fine. So, if you can, like, obviously don't give up the army. You don't have to give up the army, that's fine. Okay. Yep. Okay, so you did quite a bunch of eco damage. Just transition towards +2/+2, and for example, tech up towards a hive if you want to. That right there actually did quite a bit of damage already. Didn't actually kill too many workers, but you lowered his army supply a lot. It's difficult to jump straight back into a game like that. Oh, don't want to queue up the upgrade. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Now, if you take the Overseer now as well, and like sort of use a changeling to keep on scouting about where its army positioning is, because we really need to have a bit more value, or like a bit more awareness of that. Oh, well. Oh, what's that on top of your army? Oh, dropships. All right. You could maybe go. Well, yeah, it's hard to say. Exactly, and just like use that marine and just right click it on one of his marines and it will automatically follow it around. So just right click it right there, exactly, and just let it be. So notice right now, if he moves, we know immediately, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't know, he doesn't know. Okay, just make sure. Oh man, we really need to set up the hotkeys. Well, you should be able to defend against that then. So just select those roaches and hit Alt+2 for them.
Like, So it's just all +2.
Exactly. So right now you can switch between 1 and 2 very easily. So 2 to the natural rather.
The hive clusters are under attack.
Oh, they're still in the 1.
If you hit Alt +2, they should be removed from 1.
Alt +2. Oh, that's Control +2.
Yeah, Alt is the other key. Are you using a MacBook or?
No, I'm using a PC.
Yeah. Yeah, right now the drop is once again doing damage. Yeah, so basically the idea, like, yeah, this is basically gonna be GG at this point as well. But just for practice sake, just try around and just split off a couple of the units with Alt, for example, and just see how it works. It's really helpful. Although, if you get a big corrosive bio like that, you could potentially still make this work. You got so much in the bank. We have no more Roach Warren. You sniped your Roach Warren. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get the idea, right? You get the idea anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a much better engagement initially. We probably still could have had a bit more just because of that supply book at the same time. But that's the basic idea. I think if you practice it a little bit more, you should have a pretty easy time just picking up victories with that one attack.
Okay.
Plus 1 armor. Next up, we'll just have to practice a little more against the whole aggression style, okay?
Yeah. So with drop aggression, tank evac, I mean, what's the best way to go about defending that?
Yeah, so in this case, like he went ahead and like he dropped up multiple places at once, right? Ideally, if you have your army sitting at home, by default, spreading it out already helps a lot. Like as long as you have vision of their army, be it with a changeling or be it with a zergling sitting on the map, you can definitely just spread out your army by default. You never have to have everything in one big group, right?
Okay.
It's a little tricky to like sort of try and start using, but in general, that's the easiest way of doing it. So just splitting up your army by default is a much easier way. So like, let's say you put 5 roaches into the main mineral line and 5 into the natural mineral line, and let's leave the rest of the third. Yeah, if you watch the programs, like you generally see a lot of the guys do that just because they don't need of the army, like all of the army at the third.
Yeah, because they know that the opponent's army isn't moving out.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the first thing, right? So defending against drop play. So spread out the army across the bases by default. Second thing, like as soon as you see one dropship moving out, so let's say you see one of the metafacts on the minimap, just automatically assume that there's gonna be a second drop going on as well, and just think about where that would be happening. So what you might see a little in Gold League is people like trying to drop in one location. That's fine. Those are generally speaking relatively okay to defend, but the real tricky part starts where they try and go ahead and double dropping, so they drop you in both the main as well as in the natural, right? So right as you try and move out to defend one droppable base, immediately split up your army already and try and go for the next, like I call it like droppable location, right? So in this map, it's probably, if they would do a double drop, it would probably be your main and the forward third base, right? So
okay.
Yeah, split up your army by default. Split up your army to multiple bases when you see a dropship. Even though you may only scout one dropship, just assuming there's multiple out there will already make you like play much faster and much like safer, I suppose, in a lot of scenarios, because you don't need 20 roaches to clean up a dropship, right? There's no particular reason for it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and then next up, like I found the alt hotkeys to be really helpful. So what I meant, like you had those roaches walking around the natural, like the in-base expansion, and they were going ahead and moving across the map when you moved your main army around. If you hit the alt +2, they should be taken out of hotkey 1 and into hotkey 2.
Okay.
So if you can quickly like double tap between 1 and between 2, you can go ahead and like sort of you know, defend against that. It's the easiest way I found of hotkeying like droppable or like the units that are meant for defensive play.
Okay.
But yeah.
Alt hotkeys, got to get used to it.
Yep. Yeah, and then your opponent is saying like you can spread overlords around the map as well. Yeah, so I meant like if you see a dropship go by one potential overlord, or like one overlord, just make sure you automatically split up your army by default already and sort of like go from there.
Got it. Okay.
Alrighty.
I mean, as far as Terran drops go, I guess I just have to learn the direction that they'll tend to take, as far as the overlord positioning.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you've ever played any Terran yourself.
Not really. I mean, I do against like my brother or my friends on custom match because I'm not that great with them, but
yeah. So just like imagine you're playing Terran and you want to go for a dropship, right? Usually on most maps, there's really only 2 vulnerable bases that are the worst, and usually it's the one on the outside. So like on this particular map, like on Dusk Towers, the main base and the third base, like the expansion, like the outer expansion, are much more vulnerable, and the in-base expansion is kind of like just something they drop at like a second place, right? Like let's say they pick up in the main, they fly towards the in-base expansion. Just sort of try and imagine where you would go ahead and drop if you would be playing Terran in that scenario.
okay.
So on most map is going to be basically your most vulnerable location. And like I said, like immediately split up your army right from the get-go as well. Just in case it's going to be a double drop, or if he like changes like the direction that he's flying at. Because you don't need all of your army in one base to defend against a drop.
Okay, perfect.
Cool, let's give it a try. Like, obviously, it's easier said than done, so, you know, if you fuck up, that's all good.
Yeah, there's only so much you can go from that point.
Yeah. Same map. You wanna grind at Dust Towers? You wanna go Frozen Temple? I mean, we've done
Let's
only
do Frozen
Dust Towers.
Temple.
Sure, let's go.
I do enjoy some Frozen Temple.
Good. I don't really, but it's alright. It's alright.
I think I like it because they have that big old thing right down the middle between, you know, the bases. I can just send an overlord right down it. And I can see, you know, Zerglings. I can see probes. I can see adepts. Like, it's basically a straight line. That's the way the computer takes. So, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. I see what you mean.
Okay, so we're still going with the same build?
Yeah, we're going the exact same build. We're just grinding out the build.
Got it.
Well, Twitch chat caught you saying the big old thing right down the middle. That's
oh, that's
rookie mistake,
that.
dude. Rookie mistake, Karma. You can't say that.
Basically, just shot myself on the internet. Oh, jeez.
Take it out of context whenever possible.
It's like in Dark Souls, man. Those signs.
Yeah.
They're always gonna be good. I walked into Rosaria's last night, and they're like, chest. I was like, oh, jeez.
I still, like, you have all the illusory walls ahead signs, and all of them have, like, 5 appraisals, and then there's a one with, like, 70. And, like, well, this must be illusory wall. And it's just the fucking normal wall.
I love it. I love it.
So bad. It's like 75 appraisals. It must be that. Right now it has to be.
Dark Souls trolling is hard.
Yeah, Dark Souls is good. I spent a lot of time on that game already.
It's good. I just beat the Cathedral of the Deep last night, so I'm not that far.
Which one? Which boss is that? We do want to next, by the way.
Yeah, that's the Deacons. The massive guys where you have to fight the one that's red.
Oh, yeah, it's the same split as I am. No, actually I'm a little further along, I think. I basically had to go back in my save because I was too far ahead of myself. Yeah, probably a few hours ahead, but not that far. You're pretty far in. You're like 50% in then. You've been playing for a fair bit. Let's say it like that.
Okay, don't forget my link speed.
Yep. Very good. Yeah, like whenever they go off creep, just remove, like just return. Just be in that mindset of like, yo, this Terran player is way too good. He's not gonna give me a free Reaper. It's so easy to chase. It's like, I'm gonna try and get it, go try and get it, but it doesn't work. Do we get an Overlord next? Usually 31.
I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I forgot about it because of the Reaper.
Yeah, just go ahead and do like a double extractor trick or whatever.
He's doing Mass Reaper here.
He could go for 2. 2 is still reasonable. But yeah, we might have to make a couple more links.
Yeah.
That's fine. Let's make like, well, we got link speed finishing up here anyway. So this time around, just get the third base a little bit later. And let's go from there. We don't have to make a ton of links, yeah. Exactly, I like that. Make sure to hit all the queen injects though. We can't miss queen injects. In the main base, I mean. Yep. Okay. So link speed is about to finish up, then just take the third base. And just sort of like escort them, I suppose. Yeah, look, he's already leaving on the minimap. That's another one sign, that's another sign of a good player. They leave the, like, they know when your link speed is gonna finish up. I don't know if you saw him leave on the minimap, but they went right past your Overlord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so just keep on droning here. Get the Roach Warren. The drones back into the gas. And, 2 more gas.
With the double Evo.
Not yet. We get the double Evo when we get the lair. Yeah, we get the Roach Warren for now.
Oh, the lair. Okay.
Yeah. So first up we get the Roach Warren, and a little later we get the lair. Yeah, so I would get the Roach Warren next up. Usually you take that right at the same time as the third. All good. I know it's a little confusing at first.
Yeah, there's just a lot that happens at that moment.
I know, right? It's like a big decision moment, I suppose. Okay. So we got the links, right? Okay.
Yep.
If you need to, you can make a couple more. Ideally, we don't. Okay, just make sure to get a couple Overlords here as well. You can't actually chase those. So that's why we get the Roach Warren, right? Like, notice the Roach Warren is a little late this time. Normally, we would be making a couple
had
roaches.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty strict, I suppose. Well, I don't think we're gonna lose it. If you use the queens here to push them away, I think we're fine. Just yeah, just move those over towards the third base and threaten with the links. Exactly. That's the correct way of playing. Well, while this is going on, right, try and keep the macro up. So make a couple roaches. Yep, we got those. Nice. Let's try and keep the macro up. Very good. Very good. Okay. And let's go ahead and take the lair. Take the Evo chambers. Let's go from there. And just try and get back to the original plan, okay? So like when they mess with you like this, it's all good. Okay. And just drone up that third base fully. Couple Overlords. Cool. So you didn't lose a single worker there. The only thing that could have gone a little bit better is just the spending of minerals, but that was all good. Nice. Okay, +1/+1 upgrades. And excuse me, you just get back to the original plan.
Yeah.
Alright, so very good. This time around, you're actually maxed out with drones before the lair finishes. That's really good. Okay. Just make sure to start up the roach upgrades. Just start up the roach speed, and then very shortly you can go ahead and start up the mass amount of roach production. Okay. Now, it's really important that we don't miss a single queen inject, okay? So, try and make sure we hit those, and just keep on double checking for them. I don't know if you've hit all of them in the main. I think we may have missed a couple. Actually, no. Never mind. My bad. If you have leftover minerals...
doubled up.
Yeah, if you've leftover minerals, just go ahead and make the fort base. That's all good.
Yeah, I have way too many workers too, so...
Yeah, that's good. It's not a bad thing at all. Okay. So make sure to bring the Overseer as well, by the way, like you were talking about. We want to move out in about a half minute.
Okay.
But try to make sure you get a couple more Overlords here, because he's sniping him. Yeah, we need like 3 more Overlords. You did see him. Nice. Okay. So Roach Speed is about to finish. Actually, it's a little bit off, yeah. I like the better way that you have the units split up right now. This is really good. Like, if you would go drop right now, you would defend against it easily. Okay, so let's get going. Let's get moving.
Yep.
So you can 2-2 behind it. Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, that's a pretty...
Yeah, that's a double drop. It's a double drop. We should have enough. Just run the drones away for the moment. I just gather your units, I suppose, here for a bit. Yeah, so notice like all the units you just made in a natural. If we would have moved those to the main, I think we could have cleaned it up. Right now he's doing a little too much. So the idea right there was definitely solid. Okay. Just send him over to the natural. If you hit Alt +2 with those, you should be good. Oh, you already did? Nice.
Yeah. And
ideally we fight at the same time in the main army. Now I understand that is obviously going to be a ton of multitasking. May not work out beautifully this time because we're falling pretty bad, but that's the idea, right? And you can notice like that's just a matter of practice, which is fine. We can just grind this sort of thing out.
Yeah. Wow. This is a lot going on.
Right? That's because we add in that third base, and it may be a little tricky at first. But it will just be something that makes you much better in the long run.
Which is good. I mean, that's what I need.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're here to you know, hit higher leagues. We want to hit platinum next season. I think you could quite easily do it. Okay. Now, if we tack up towards the hive, you gotta make the decision whether or not you want to go Ultras or Brood Lords right about right now. So, if you do so, I would probably take the Infestation Pit and the Spire at the same time, because in most scenarios you want to go Brood Lords.
Okay.
So, usually if they scout that you're heavy Roach Warren, or heavy Roach, they go ahead and play a really heavy style focused around Marauder. And obviously Marauders can't really shoot up. Okay. Now, ideally, we did take the Watchtowers here, because we don't really have any tabs on his army, right? So either you use Changelings or something, but just to have some vision of his army here, because we're pretty blind. Nope. Just split off a bunch of your main army for that. Yep. So we don't have to pull all the units for it, because I see all the units from the main base actually moving back towards that. Okay, let's go ahead and take the hive as well behind it.
Our forces are under attack. Daddy!
Daddy's slaughtering Terrans. Okay.
Okay, so I have my thing finished now.
Yep. We can just send those towards the fort base. Now, the multiple control group is definitely something to practice on. Yeah, it's just a matter of learning, you know, how to play it a little bit faster, I suppose. That's all good though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is a little above my grade here.
Yeah, could be. That's fine though. I think you're doing a good job. Like the approach is good, you know. It's just a little bit of speed that's just missing, I suppose, in that control. So once again, like he's playing with you, man. Like he's already in the main. So now it's like if you split up a bunch of that army that's walking towards the main right now. Well, look at that. Like he's double dropping and pushing with the main fight. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the end for me.
It's all good, man. It's all good practice. Yeah, so I don't actually know how long we've been doing coaching for. I have no idea. Normally we got a Skype timer.
It's been an hour and a half. So
it's been about an hour and a half. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of practice, really. Like this guy did definitely play very well. I'm not exactly sure what his rank is. We may just be playing right against his strength as well. It kind of depends. He was actually a Diamond League finisher last time around he played, apparently. Yeah, he's got 250 bonus pool, so he probably could be able to hit Diamond. That's so good, though. It's solid practice. Yeah, in general, I would recommend just trying to grind out the build. Maybe like play it a couple more times in like a custom and see if you can get up to a higher amount of supply or like a faster amount of supply. Or wait, a bigger amount of supply at like a shorter amount of time.
All right.
So we hit 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the first attempt. If you can like practice it a couple times and make sure you consistently hit that 830 with 200 supply, it makes it much easier to play the game and be under pressure. Because the main thing that sort of happens when you're under pressure is that you forget what you need to be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I would recommend probably just like practicing the build, as grinding it out like 5, 6, 7, like I don't know how many times, until you like don't really need to think about the build as much, and then going from there, right? So you basically can just sort of dream the build and just automatically do it. While under pressure, you can just, all right, layer double evo back to defending, right? And just sort of play more on autopilot in that regard. Because once you're left alone, right? Once you get to a middle game or like a mid game state and they're letting you macro, that's where you're a-okay, because that's what you're really used to. But it's like sort of before that where things get a little bit more sloppy.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, dude, I made a lot of notes. Once again, if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. I'll go ahead and send those to you. Just the same email address, I suppose.
Perfect. And then I think, yeah, it is. This is my 3rd session, so probably in a couple of months I'll hit you up for 3 more for a recap and see how things are going.
Yeah, man, sure. Go ahead and do so. Definitely keep me in the loop, though. I think you could definitely hit plat this season, which was the main goal, right? So.
I think I'm pretty close. I'm playing platinums pretty consistently. I'd say I win about 50% of the time. So, you know, I just got to keep going.
Yeah. Like considering your win rate and like your rank 1 gold with 55-56% win rate in all matchups, that's a good indication you're slightly higher than rank 1 gold, which would automatically be platinum, right? So I think you're definitely nearby. Yeah, just gonna grind it out, man. Just I gave you a little bit more of a tricky build, I suppose, like a more difficult strategy to master. But I mean, it's just a matter of practice, really. And I mean, macro is definitely the strong point. So as long as you keep on the practice, I think you should be good to go, dude.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much. Again, you're awesome. We love you, Lowko.
Thanks, dude. Thank you very much. Yeah, keep me in the loop, man. Let me know when you get promoted next week.
I will do so.
Or like, you know, unless you get sucked into Dark Souls. In which case, like 2 weeks, okay?
I know, right? All right. Well, thank you.
Right,
thanks again. I'll keep you in touch. See ya.
All right, dude. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yep. You too. Bye.